It's a rematch of last season's SEC championship. Number 1 Alabama travels to Gainesville to take on number 11 Florida. It will be the 42nd meeting overall, with the Crimson Tide holding a 27-14 edge over the Gators. And to preview this weekend's showdown in the Swamp, I'm joined by former Alabama and NFL quarterback John Parker Wilson. JP, it's good to see you again.
Man, good to be back. First SEC road game, so this is going to be an exciting weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's the SEC opener for the Tide. And, you know, John Parker, there have been some great games between Alabama and Florida in the series history, but it's been 10 years since the Crimson Tide have played the Gators in Gainesville. Bryce Young will be making his first road start as a starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. How do you think the environment will affect him and this offense that started slow last week at home against Mercer?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting to see his first road start. So there's I know a lot of emotions for him and a lot to deal with. It's going to be a loud stadium. I know they've been practicing this week and all throughout the summer with using that crowd noise to try to simulate it. So you just go out there and I think he'll get it figured out pretty quickly. Just trying to use a lot of nonverbal communications to talk to his guys. But he's been playing well in his first two games, so I'm expecting more out of that from Bryce this week.
Well, John Parker, we saw Alabama come out in the season opener and dominate a top 15 team in Miami, but the Tide can't afford a repeat of last week's slow start in the first quarter. How do you see the Alabama offense matching up against this Todd Grantham-led Florida Gators defense?
Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be all coming up to the play up front. Offensive line has played really well in the first two games, but this is a very aggressive Florida defensive line. So it's about controlling it up front and giving Bryce some time. I think they're going to try to blitz and try to make Bryce uncomfortable. So he's got to get the ball out quick and kind of get a feel for the game. So like a lot of SEC games, it's going to come up to how well we play in the front five guys.
Well, JP, the Gators offense hasn't been totally sharp either. Emory Jones has thrown 4 interceptions already against Florida Atlantic and South Florida. Last year's number 1 passing offense is currently ranked 68th in the nation. However, the Gators' rushing attack is pretty good. They're currently ranked 2nd in the nation, averaging 355 yards per game. Anthony Richardson has shown to be a spark for Florida at the quarterback position. How do you think the Alabama defense matches up against this Florida offense, and could we see more of Richardson on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we will. And they've had a ton of production rushing the ball. Most of that has come from their quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks are leading the team in rushing right now. So with the loss of Christopher Allen, it's going to be tough. Guys have to continue to step up. We saw Drew Sanders have a really good game last week. So it's going to take more of that with our front 7 really matching up against this Florida team, because they're going to try to rush the ball and then take some shots over top. You know, 2 of our starting cornerbacks were out last week with Jalen Armour-Davis and Josh Jobe. So hopefully they get back to be able to combat that deep ball. But it's going to come down, like on our side of the ball, when we're on the offense, to how well our defensive line plays and really freeing up our linebackers, because, man, Will Anderson, Christian Harris, Henry To'oTo'o, these guys have been playing really well. And a lot of that is because of the success we've had up front on the defensive line.
Well, it should be a fun one in the Swamp on Saturday, JP. Thank you for your insight on the matchup once again.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Kickoff in Gainesville between number 1 Alabama and number 11 Florida is set for 2:30 Central Time. The game will be televised on CBS. You can listen to John Parker Wilson, Eli Gold, and the rest of the Crimson Tide Sports Network crew online and on the radio beginning at 11:30. Reporting from the Crimson Tide production studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, I'm Christopher England with Tide TV.